We got us a corpse and cartridge occasion.
On YouTube, the Tekken 8 reveal trailer for Hwoarang was trending number 11. The only other character who I know was trending on YouTube was Lily. I didn't see it, but I definitely heard about it. Hwoarang is also trending on Twitter along with Baek Do-san. The discussion around Baek Do-san is a lot more pleasant than what I was imagining. When I was discussing Eddie and Christine and the possibility of either of those characters coming up, I was focusing on the aspect of the community being bitter towards one or the other. This is my favorite character, and this other character, I despise them. But with Hwoarang, what was really amazing to see is a lot of the Baek players, not all of them, but a lot of them was like, this time around, Hwoarang really represents the Taekwondo fighting style. And I think that is a success. I did a poll on YouTube 10 hours ago at the time of recording, and he has a 91% approval rating. The only other character who was higher than this was Jun Kazama at, I believe, 92 or 3%, and then King, which had a 93%. But Hwoarang being right after those two, you can see how excited everyone is for him. Some of the reactions that I thought was pretty cool to see on Twitter, you have Blasted Salami saying, love how he's taking some cues from Baek and how his costume really emphasizes Taekwondo. Move changes also suggest less a 50-50 blender, more intricate stances based on the character he used to be. Great stuff. Cuddlecore says, Baek would be proud. Hwoarang looks good. I remember some of the community predicting he'd be next. Y'all should be detectives. Queen Arrow, this is someone I dedicated a full video to in the past, but they say, I think he really thrive in a heat system in my opinion, as his gameplay is so aggressive and Tekken 8 will emphasize aggressiveness. His costume gives me Kim Kapwan meets Baek Do-san with some elements of Hwoarang's costume from previous games. So you can kind of just see the good response to Hwoarang that the community is having. Before we move on, you guys make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm seeing a lot of new faces in the comment section and also in the live stream. Smash that subscribe button. Hwoarang's pretty boy martial artist rep has some deep history to it. Spelled Hwoarang in Hangul were a contingent of noble youths, trained in art, poetry, Buddhism, and martial arts to serve the beautiful but deadly knights in ancient Korea. I love how Tekken really tied characters to their origin. In the past, I did a video about Ladea, Sobieska, and how Sobieska is a very prominent and important name within Poland history. We have so many examples, so many times where the developers pay such close attention to the characters' names and how they try to really express the culture through that. Sometimes it backfires with a character like Josie Rizalza. The Filipino government did not take lightly to that, and that's something that they have to be wary of. But more times than not, when they do something like this, when they reflect the country's heritage on the character and also through the name, it is something that is celebrated and appreciated. Now, let's talk about Harada's tweets, because this was an interesting discussion and I really didn't even think about it. But a motorcycle enthusiast, they tweeted at Harada and says, Mr. Harada, Hwoarang's bike is American, but it's quiet as an electric scooter. So if it's possible, please use the roar of a V-twin engine. And it's basically talking about his intro where he rides on a motorcycle. That is pretty much like, I think it's a Harley Davidson, the model. Those motors are very loud. But the response here that Harada gives shows why he couldn't necessarily do that. He says, I know how you feel. However, from the standpoint of looking at the sound with waveform every day, not only sound distortion, but also the other SE, BMG, and character voices are simply drowned out and inaudible. I'm sorry, but it's a technical rejected. If you have the motor being super loud, not only will you not be able to hear Hwoarang talking, you will not be able to hear the music, and it will just be like a very loud noise that kind of distracts from the character and the gameplay itself. Another person says, then you don't have Hwoarang talk at all. And Harada says, it's useless because the request that inputs the cart before the horse or lose sight of the essence. The reason why I wanted to highlight these two tweets is because once again it shows that Harada has no problem in responding to everything. He tries to answer questions and provide clarity. Off topic, but we're all forgetting that we should expect newcomers. I'm actually getting a bit concerned. We're getting so many reveals because the spots are filling up and we haven't seen newcomers yet. Now this is something that I'm also aware of, But what I think the developers are doing right now is kind of giving us the characters that are pretty much guaranteed. Everything that they showed so far, we all could have predicted. But I think the surprises is going to come a little bit later. The Summer Games Fest has just been announced. Bandai Namco is going to be here, and an event this massive is where they would want to show off the new stuff. If we go back to the Game Awards, the amount of people who watched that event live was somewhere in like the 100 million, 120 million people watching. These Tekken 8 trailers and alphas and stuff they're doing right now, it may reach the eyes of a few 100,000, maybe a million, but 100 million versus 1 million is vastly different.
Załatwię to jeszcze przed obiadem. O! Znaczy,